like science.
I like science.
I like science.
Oh, sure, you yawn immediately after hitting
Science.
record.
Oh, shut up. I've had
Yeah.
trouble sleeping lately, and you know it.
Yeah, you have.
Ugh, it's been terrible.
I've been staying up too late.
Ugh.
Uh,
I actually, for what I did sleep last night, it was pretty solid, but it was only about 6 hours. So
yeah. So the
still
video
tired.
game character Solid Sleep.
Part of the Metal Gear Solid series.
Yep. Yep.
Just solid sleep where you have to
Yep.
battle your demons in order to get some rest.
Solid Sleep, you're gonna have to find the Metal Gear.
Well, already we're off the rails. That's fantastic. I love it.
There's a box, hide under it.
You must find your way back to your bed.
What is the alert sound when guards see you? Wink! The little exclamation mark goes over their head, forehead and wink!
Oh, jeez.
It's like, oh, you better hide.
Yeah. I've played zero of the Metal Gear Solid games.
Yeah. Well, same guy behind the Death Stranding games, so.
Yeah, I know.
And PE.
I know. It's just not my thing.
Yep. Yeah, stealth games can be annoying.
Well, I don't mind stealth games, but I just don't want that to be all that there is.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, well, hello, folks.
Yep. Didn't he make one game that there was like a scent activator on the disc and you'd put it in your machine and it would smell like blood?
What? What the fuck?
And another one that one of the tricks is to give up control. And so how you win the boss fight is you have to pull your controller port out of one port and put it in the other.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, now we just have haptics in our controllers that will do shit for us. So it's like, oh, tilt your controller this way. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I'm not very good at haptics.
I'm not good at haptics either. There's a game I had to stop because I couldn't climb a mountain because I couldn't get the haptics right.
Yeah.
And I found it frustrating.
I felt that way during Death Stranding, frankly.
Yeah.
Just like,
it's having to rock the baby back to sleep.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what you want from me. I'm doing what you said. Anyway, this is not a thing that I hate Death Stranding. I actually find it an extremely compelling game, especially in the time in which it was released. And
yeah, playing that and Spider-Man over COVID is like one about being a delivery guy during some kind of apocalypse. And one being about this plague getting released. Playing those both over the COVID lockdown was surreal.
Yep. It was very timely. And the thing that's the funny thing about video games is that they take years to make. So the fact that it was as timely as it was is kind of weird.
Yeah, it was just bizarre how prescient they both were.
Yeah, Death Stranding did actually convince me to like Norman Reedus. So there we go.
Yeah, when he gives you a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm not that I didn't dislike him. I didn't dislike him. I just was just like, I don't know what the big deal is, but now I kind of do. So shall we talk about this episode, or should we
now
just
that we got
for the rest of the time?
The laughs over at the start of this episode because there's not going to be many more.
Yeah, no. Well, there might be a few, just not
incidental
necessarily.
Laughs.
Yeah. So we're talking about Voyager season 7, episode 13, Repentance. And we have the shortest cold open I think I've ever seen on Voyager.
Yeah, I would have thought it was the second part to a two-parter with how quick they went through the opening. It's like, here's the ship. It's in distress. Let's teleport some people over. They're prisoners. There's guards.
Let's take 7 hostage.
A prisoner takes 7 hostage. And I'm like, oh no, 7 of 9 is damsel in distress. And then you just turn around and she elbows him in the gut.
Yeah, because she's not a damsel in distress.
Yeah. And that he makes a point that this guy that Aiko,
Hmm.
the little boy who leads this little girl around where a bunch of shadow monsters try. Oh, that's a different Aiko. Um, yeah,
Sorry.
that he makes a point that she never showed fear in her eyes
Yeah.
because she was never afraid of him. It's like, of course not. She's part Borg.
Yeah, but that's not the reason. The Borg part isn't the reason.
Yeah.
But apparently we're gonna have a lot of video game references in this
Oh
episode.
yeah. Oh, should we make a drinking game of it?
Yeah, well, we've already referenced four different video games. We haven't
Yeah.
even started the discussion really properly.
No.
Anyway, yeah. So there's a bunch of dangerous criminals. They are Aiko takes her prisoner. It doesn't work out well for him because the doctor is photonic and he doesn't understand that, and basically just takes care of things. And these
Yep.
people, well, the people that are in charge, the jailers,
Vegarians or
yeah, Nigeans. They're
what?
Nigeans.
Nigerians, right? Say it.
Nigeans. Yeah.
Nigerians.
Yeah, that's what you said. Basically, they're transporting these 10 highly dangerous prisoners, some of
Murderers, every
whom,
single one of them.
yeah, some of whom don't seem very dangerous. Like
Yeah, the one that
the guy
had his
who
food
is like,
stolen. Yeah.
yeah, that guy seemed not dangerous to me,
Yeah.
and possibly was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But here we go. So we find out that they execute their criminals, the Nigerians.
Yeah, and all the Starfleet folks look at each other like, we got rid of the death penalty like ages ago. And they just kind of
Mm-hmm.
look at each other and it's like, "Ugh," and just do the uh
Yang,
Rodney
yang, yang, yang.
Dangerfield kind of collar pull, like, eh. It's like,
Yeah.
well, the prime directive, I guess we have to follow their laws, but we really don't want to.
Yeah. It's and this whole thing is kind of a commentary on capital punishment.
Well, yeah, especially with the little debate between the Doctor and 709.
Yeah. Well, she was just being objective, but
Hmm.
he was had a point of view and she was being objective and counterpointing.
Yep.
So, which was interesting because that's not usually her bag. But,
It's like, yeah, it's effective because you won't kill again. That a life sentence uses up more resources than capital punishment, which actually I think they've found isn't true.
mm-hmm.
Is that the money it takes uh to have the state kill a person, is more than it would take for them to just live a lifetime in prison. And considering America has like per capita the largest prison population in the world,
Ew.
and most of those prisons, if not all of them, are run for profit because what is it, the 13th Amendment that has the slavery clause in it, or
Mm-hmm.
14th? I think it's the 13th. The
Yeah.
13th Amendment that abolished slavery except as punishment for crime. That's
Mm-hmm.
still in there. So
Yep.
if that's why we have so many prisoners, is slavery didn't end. We just moved it into the prisons.
Yeah, which is why they tend to have a lot of Black people
Hmm.
who committed very minor crimes like having weed
Yep.
and have a sentence that is completely incongruent to that point, quote unquote offense.
Yep. Dealing, possessing, trafficking drugs, even drugs that a lot of states have decriminalized, even though the federal government hasn't. So if the federal government wishes to punish you for that, they can.
Yeah.
It's just in a lot of areas they'll look the other way, like Colorado, California, places where it's legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
even bring up the point with the Binkarans
Mm-hmm.
about how they're sentenced harsher, or they're given harsher penalties for the same crime. They're arrested more often than any of the other species, and just that they are even around a crime, they're likely to be blamed for it.
Yeah.
and
So
arrested
basically
on circumstantial evidence. Yeah.
they're basically black people.
Yeah,
That
that was
they're
my
that's the
um,
avatar.
conclusion too, is that it was a metaphor
Hmm.
for Black Americans.
Yep. And that's not the
But
first
which,
time we've seen that in Star Trek, and it probably won't be the
yeah,
last.
and it was a good point to bring up, which I felt sad when they undermined it by having the avatar, as you put it so nicely, of, the example of the black prisoner, the black suspect.
Jolig.
Yeah, Joleg, that he attempts an escape,
Hmm.
and he's been shown to be lying and manipulative and, pretending to get along with Neelix to, get a letter out to his brothers to have an escape plan. And when they have the prison break and they manage to capture the lead prison guard and are threatening to kill him, that it just undermines any principle that he could be innocent.
Hmm.
And then makes you wonder if all these statements about this species being more criminal, it gets kind of swept aside. And I was disappointed in that.
Well, it wasn't really swept aside because Neelix did his homework.
Yeah, he did his homework, but at the same time, to have the example person in that to represent that be a potential murderer, be a liar and manipulator, kind of undermines it and makes you wonder, is the species just prone to criminality, or is it
That
something that's been
that's
prescribed on them? Is it descriptive or is it prescriptive?
well, that's the thing. We have a very small sampling
Yeah.
of this race. We cannot make that determination. We
Yeah.
can't, with complete confidence, say, oh no, this is just what they're like, because no race is just what they're like,
Oh, that's
you
my
know?
point, though, is we have such a small sampling that why didn't they give us the sample that would exonerate them?
I know. Maybe it was the counterpoint to Aiko.
Yeah,
The guy who was absolutely guilty owned it and would kill again if he could until he got injected with nanoprobes that
yep.
fixed the problem in his brain. He had a problem in his brain and
Yeah,
nanoprobes
he's
fixed it.
super aggressive, even within the prison cells that, they eventually move him to.
Hmm.
He's getting into, exchanging words with the other prisoners. There's a prisoner that he would steal food from uh, on the other prison ship.
Hmm.
And you just see this guy who's, just fearless, provocative. The guards lower the wall or the force field and go in and start beating him and stomping on his head. So he develops this edema that the doctor is attempting to bypass with 7 of 9's nanoprobes. She must have so many of those nanoprobes, and everybody wants some.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that she regenerates them. You
Yep.
know, that's they. It's like taking blood from someone. Taking
Mhm.
blood from them doesn't mean that you're just now down
Yep.
blood for the rest of your life. That's not how it works. Same thing
But
with
they are a
nanoprobes.
hot commodity.
Self-replicating.
Yep. Self-replicating nanoprobes.
Yep.
And yeah, the nanoprobes, in trying to relieve this edema and, reduce the swelling in this brain, repair a disconnect with your favorite, the pituitary gland, not the
Nope.
hippocampus,
No,
which
no,
would
no,
probably be
no, no,
the
no.
the
Pineal
proper,
gland.
the pineal.
Pineal
That's right, the
gland.
pineal gland.
Hmm.
Yeah, which,
Sorry.
we over Halloween we watched From Beyond, and so seeing Jeffrey Combs with his
Combs,
uh
not Coombs.
Combs, his pineal gland sticking out of his forehead and wiggling around like Andorian antenna.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's just this gland that for the longest time people didn't exactly know what it did, and so they ascribed to this your moral character when really I believe that is in the hippocampus, your moral and emotional and
Hmm.
that sort of thing. Though it could be mistaken, but yeah, like I think children that experience like a fever in a young age and that area is damaged can develop sociopathy.
Hmm.
And head injuries in general, a lot of serial killers experience a head injury in youth.
Mm-hmm.
And even people who, later in life experience a head injury and have a personality change.
Yep.
Yeah, that this
Because the
idea that
brain's a funny
this,
thing.
that the soul of what makes you you is somehow apart from your body. And it's like, no, it's in the mind somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
All those neurons, all those synapses firing, and all those, neural pathways which get rebuilt by the nanoprobes. And so, we have the sociopath who suddenly starts feeling these gut pains and this overwhelming sadness, and it's because he experiences guilt. He's got the memories of killing,
Mm-hmm.
but now he also has the moral disgust, this, the self-hatred, the repentance, the guilt, of having committed this act. He
Hence the
even
name
makes a
of the
comment
episode.
of looking at the hands that killed this guy, that were around this guy's throat and just strangling him to death. And it's like those are the same hands, but there's a new mind looking at them, but still with the same memory.
Yeah. Uh, there was I forgot to mention this when we were talking about, but when they were going into the prison, you're like Star Wars sounds, and
Yeah,
it's
because in
just
the backgrounds you hear the Bespin,
yeah.
kind of the carbonite
Yep.
sounds. There.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sounded exactly like that. Somebody's been borrowing from another franchise.
Yeah, a little bit.
And
And their graded ceilings. It's like, that's not going to hold.
yeah, well,
You wiggle that enough, that's going to come right down.
yeah, that's why they have guys on the top that'll come and step on your fingers if you
All
try. I'm
right.
just kidding. I don't know that. I don't know
Or to
that.
fall through. It's like
Yeah,
chicken net wire.
nah, it's stronger than chicken wire. Chicken wire is pretty weak. But Neelix is feeding the prisoners
Yes, he is.
because he's a decent person.
Yep.
and that's actually what should be happening in any situation with
Yeah.
people who are incarcerated. That doesn't
Yeah,
make them
it's
not hungry. That doesn't make them suddenly incapable of, I don't even know what, but
well,
it's
yeah, it's just
you.
you treat your prisoners. It's like the protocol on in Starfleet in the
Yeah,
Federation is to feed your prisoners.
yeah.
And
Well,
so
that's
if as long as they're on board Voyager, you follow those protocols, even if, in the larger scope of things you're following, was it Nigerian law?
mhm.
Even though they're getting shipped to be executed, you still feed them because as long as they're on Voyager, you follow Voyager's protocols. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
they get, was it 3 meals and a cot?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the thing is that watching the way Voyager, where the crew of Voyager treats uh the incarcerated versus the Nigerians,
Hmm.
it's very, I don't know, Old Testament, I guess.
Well, the Niger it's an eye for an eye,
Yeah,
but
and
the
that's very
Nigerian,
Old Testament.
yeah, the law is victims first. Favor the victims is what it translates to. And
My
so the victims of the crime are the ones to deal the punishment.
mhm,
And as such, the wealthier criminals have the money to compensate for their crimes. And so they'll just pay their victims and avoid execution. While, if you murder somebody, the family's going to be, well, life for life. You
mhm.
killed ours, we kill yours.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing about an eye for an eye. You do that long enough and everybody's blind.
Yep. Tooth for tooth.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I understand the feelings for, I understand, if somebody murdered you, I would be very upset, of course. Would I want to see that person tortured? No, I would not,
Ah,
because I don't believe that two wrongs make a right.
eight.
That's just not how it works.
Yep.
But we are still in this country, in this world, obsessed with punishment in a
Yeah, well,
way that is kind of just gross.
there's that kind of fundamentalist Christian attitude, especially towards crime and punishment. And there's a thing in a lot of Christianity of sin leveling is that all sins are equal in the eyes of God. So no matter what sin you commit, the result is the same, hell, this eternal torment for whether you lie or whether you murder somebody is like you get the same punishment and there's no levels of degrees unless you get into some of the fiction and you have different levels of hell depending on what you've done, with the Dante's Inferno sort of thing.
Mm.
But, none of that comes from the Bible. That's all, invented by poets. So, yeah, it's just odd that we're so keen on punishment. And even if you look at like the anti-abortion crowd, is that if you scratch the surface of it, you find that having a child is the punishment for having sex.
Mm.
And that's the way they look at it often, is that if you engaged in sexual activity and you got pregnant, that is the consequences of your action, which was a sinful action. And so the child is a punishment that we're going to put on the person that gets pregnant.
Weird.
Yeah. And if anybody can get an abortion, if their contraception fails, then, suddenly we're taking away the punishment for sin and people can escape unchallenged. And yeah, you can go into the whole thing about personhood of the embryo and if they'll develop into, a human in society, but there's no guarantee that's going to be a good person or a bad person. And, why are we concerned about future people when we're not concerned about the pregnant person who's living now?
Exactly.
And who has rights of their own. And there's even a saying, a tooth for every pregnancy because of the calcium that goes to support the child that the mother loses. And so it's like having a parasite in some respects, is you have this being in your body that's taking up your resources. And so where does bodily autonomy end, The person who's using your organs is like,
Well,
we're just gonna allow that.
the thing is that they're like, oh, life begins at conception. Oh my God, I hope not. I
Well,
hope that isn't a consciousness
well,
growing.
consciousness and life are different because the sperm
Yeah.
is alive, an egg is alive. So technically, a zygote is alive, but is it viable?
But see, that's the thing. It's like life begins at conception. So, what is the definition of life in that regard? We could
Yep.
go over this for a million
Well,
years.
yeah, biologically speaking, it is alive. Is it conscious?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's a different thing, and that's when we get to where it's viable. If it can live outside the womb, at that point, no longer any abortions unless there's a health issue involved. And that seems common sense. If it gets to the point where it could possibly live outside the womb,
Mm-hmm.
then it is an individual.
Yeah.
It is no longer supported by the mother and taking up the mother's resources.
Yeah, well, it's just not taking up the mother's bodily resources.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I mean, yeah, money's a different thing. And that's
No,
another
I
thing
know, I know,
with
I know.
I don't it's weird that we got onto abortion, but that's my fault. But is that the unborn is the easiest demographic to fight for because as soon as they're born, you can wash your hands of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's this, if you're treating it as a protected group, what happens after they're born? Do you pay for their life? I mean, you're forcing this woman to give birth. Let's just put it that way. If you ban abortions, you force women to give birth. You make them into a breeding group. You take away their right to just choose how they live. You force them to give birth. And any complication, because even now, and especially biologically speaking, like evolutionary, our heads are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that affects the birth canal. And yeah, we have cesarean sections and stuff, but there's can be complications to that too.
Yeah.
So anytime there's a pregnancy, there is risk of life. And there's risk of life increases because, there's still systematic racism or systemic racism within the medical field, and they overlook the pain and complications in Black women in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So, the death of pregnant Black people during childbirth is higher because they overlook things like like complaints about pain and stuff like that.
Yeah, well,
that
that's
there's
just
this
typical
assumption
of
that
women in
they're
general, but yeah.
lying. That people assume women are lying, and they assume that women of color are lying more.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Which is ridiculous because, frankly, if men had to experience the pain that I experience pretty much every day, they would
Mm.
be fucking crying in their beds.
Well, they've compared menstrual cramps to a heart attack. It's the same
Mm,
level of pain.
yeah.
And to think women with like regular periods experience that monthly.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, a monthly heart attack. I can't even imagine going through that.
It's horrible. And not everybody has cramps on the same level, but I know when I had cramps, they were the worst thing ever, and I wanted to die.
Yeah.
I just wanted to die. I would be like down for the day or the week.
Can you tell I've been watching YouTube debate shows?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, this episode brings up a lot of different things because it brings up autonomy, it brings up what's the word I'm looking for here? Fair treatment, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
Um
Equanimity, equal
it
treatment under the
yeah.
law. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Etc.
Fair treatment.
So it's not focusing on just one thing. It's
No.
like what but and the thing is that you could just focus on, okay, this guy now is no longer the person that he was, but it wasn't just that. It's also focusing on racism. And sometimes people who belong to a certain group that is vilified, uh half the time, more than half the time, a lot of the time, they're not that way. But there's always that one example.
And we look at culpability too, is
Hmm.
like if you're biologically programmed to kill, essentially, if your mind is set as such that you cannot control your impulses, are you responsible for the things you do?
No, because in this case, that was the whole thing with
Yeah.
Aiko. He wasn't responsible for that behavior because he had a problem in his brain. And when that problem was fixed, that life was gone. That person was gone. He's
Mhm.
back at factory settings.
And even he wishes for death
Mhm.
because death is preferable to the guilt he feels. And so, in a weird kind of irony, is that the family refuses to grant him leniency for his appeal
Yeah.
under this new evidence that's presented. And so he's going to be executed, but a lifetime of guilt of having to revisit that memory that he still holds. I mean, to see the hands every day that took
Mm.
this life, that's something he's going to have to live and contend with and attempt to somehow compensate for with the new life he's given. But that doesn't happen.
No.
The family says no, and boy, you could tell Seven was developing quite a thing for this guy, for Aiko.
Well, I think she's been through a similar experience.
Yeah, because she's what, 1,000 or more, like more than 1,000 people that she's turned into drones in her
Hmm.
20 years experience with the Borg.
And that's not even counting the people she killed.
Yeah. And so she, like Aiko, was compelled through her biology because of being part of the hive mind that she was compelled to do these things. It was beyond her individual capacity to decide what she could and could not do. And it was Janeway that removed her, cut her off from the hive, from the Borg, and she was able to develop into the person she is, you know, that day because of that. And so, yeah, she has the same feelings as Aiko of guilt of all the things she had done, and is her life worth it? And if Aiko is not guilty, then she's not guilty. And so she has a personal investment in him. But I think it goes beyond that. I think there is an attraction that develops
Mm.
such that she's wishing that Aiko will stay aboard the Voyager, even though he's not a scientist, he even says as much, but he has an interest in stars, and that's something you can learn over time. And they can educate him to the point where he can be helpful in some respect. I mean, even I know he's probably wants to avoid violence for the rest of his life, so I don't think he's going to be on a security detail or something. But I mean, give him a mop, just you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Have him clean the filters in the holodeck because nobody wants to do that.
have him work with Neelix in the
Yeah,
cafeteria.
Yeah, he could have lived a very fulfilling life.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that at no point is asylum brought up,
Yeah.
asking for
No,
asylum.
no. But I think that's because Voyager wants to avoid any sticky prime directive stuff. This
Mm,
fact they're going to
yeah,
obey the Nigerian law, and that was what they agreed to before they knew that death penalty was on the line.
yeah.
But yeah, he could just name stars because he just hang out with Seven of Nine when the stellar cartography lab, and because he's creative and
Mm,
can name constellations, and that could be useful. It's like,
yeah. Well, and I can't remember. He wasn't like this as a child, and I can't remember what happened to him. I thought I
oh,
had written it down, but I don't think
well, it was
I
a birth
did.
defect, so he was born with it. But I
Oh,
think during
right.
development, as he hits puberty, I think some of those, when testosterone kicks in, if we kind of compare it to human development, he starts reaching puberty and starts developing, the secondary sex characteristics that maybe that aggression that can go, would go unchecked in his mind, but anybody else could control those impulses. He lacks that control. And so as soon as he reached puberty, I think his behavior would start to change. So as a child, I think he'd be, pretty innocent and
Yeah.
not prone to violence as much, but that's just an assumption on my part.
Well, puberty makes everyone go crazy.
Yeah, well,
Just,
hormones. I mean, that's the
yeah,
thing is
it's just,
hormones kick in, and he's more aggressive because of it, and that's just the
yeah,
nature of things. He doesn't have the higher mind to control those impulses.
yeah. I'm with Susie Azard that puberty should be 1 day.
Yeah, get the fucker over with.
Yep, 1 day. Uh, yeah. We don't get much of half of our cast.
No, I could see
We
because
have
they had to pay
obligatory.
a lot for extras and guest stars on this one.
Yeah, so basically Harry gets a little bit, Balana and Tom get even less.
Yeah,
Just not a whole lot going on with all those characters. So,
we get to
um,
see Tuvok take the elevator during an emergency, so that was fun.
yeah, you don't use the elevator in an emergency,
Yeah, they're
or the
getting
turbo
shot
lift in this case.
shot to hell. They've lost power on the deck where the cargo bay is that they converted to this prison complex.
That has Star Wars sounds.
Yes, has Star Wars sounds and poor lighting. Yeah, he's gets in there and yeah. Meanwhile, sparks are flying from people's consoles. He's like, "Yeah, I'll just take the elevator."
Yeah, it's fine. That's the problem with the turbo lift is like, what other choice do you have? It's not like there are stairs.
I
You'd
think
have
there's
to go
like
through the Jeffries
That's
tubes.
true. There's like 3 or 4 times where Tuvok gets sent from his tactical station to get in the elevator and go to wherever security is required. It's like,
Yeah.
why is he even on the bridge? He's chief of
Because
security. Just put him where that's necessary.
for reasons.
Yeah. Well, Worf too was chief of security. He was on the bridge, so I guess that's just what happens.
Yeah, there you go. That explains it all.
Yeah. What's with our security chiefs being non-human most of the time?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Is it Malcolm
It's
Reed's the only one that isn't? Or isn't some other species?
hmm. Well, on Discovery, we've got a human security off the security chief. That's oh my God.
Is it Reese or the other one?
Yes. Yeah, it's Reese. It's Reese. I couldn't remember.
Right,
Yeah. Reese is the security dude who's always on the bridge. So
right.
there you go. So there's
Yeah.
one. Strange New Worlds. La'an. There you go. La'an's on
Yeah,
the bridge.
she's an augment, so
Hmm.
that's kind of half and a half, I guess.
Well, she's still human.
Yeah,
Gosh. Anyway, so there are human security officers.
right.
Uh, I don't know what else to talk about.
I think we addressed most things. You had a comment about the movable nacelles, and it reminded me of a spoiler on cars with the sport mode or race mode. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, engaging in sport mode, and the spoiler goes up or down. It's like the same
yeah,
thing with the nacelles. They go like
yeah.
up when they're about to go into warp.
Which makes no sense to me. What's the point of that?
Yeah, just leave them as they are.
They don't need to move.
Yeah.
I
It's
just have
not,
never understood that about Voyager.
what are you getting? More downforce in space? What the hell?
Yeah, I just it's space, you guys. It's space.
Yeah,
There's
well,
you
my
don't need a
opinions
spoiler.
of the design of the Voyager. Though I do like that Star Trek for was it the well, maybe I shouldn't talk about this because I think it's only on the screeners we watched.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
so
it's
never.
the little okay, let's put it this way. In the past, there have been before any new Star Trek episode, the little thing with showing like all the different ships or the ship that is applicable to that particular series.
Well, yeah, it's like the Lucasfilm. It's like the Marvel flipping comic book pages thing. Star
Hmm.
Trek has their own one of those, and they update it every once in a while. And
And
so it'll
well,
show the various different ships, and I like the look of the Voyager
yeah. Well,
in
the
this
thing is
opening
that before
thing.
it wasn't all the ships. It was
Yeah,
just the ship for that series.
right.
Like for Discovery, it was just the Discovery. For the Protostar, or for you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
For Strange New Worlds, it was just the Enterprise. It wasn't a whole bunch of ships
But
like
this is
there are
like the
now.
60th anniversary, something
60th,
like.
yes. Oh
Yeah,
yes,
so I
big
think they
deal.
did something special for
Big
the
deal.
60th.
Very big deal. So, yeah. Um I it's hard to say I liked this episode. I didn't dislike it. It basically puts a lot of thoughts in the
Yep.
head.
Well, it's Star Trek doing what Star Trek does
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
I mean, it's speculative fiction. You take current events and you put it into the future, and it's what Rod Serling would do to avoid censors.
Yes.
Is
Very
like, oh,
smart.
instead of black people, we're going to have an alien race, and that's who's being looked at, or it's just extrapolate in the far future or using aliens, to
Hmm.
represent the things that exist now. And that
Yeah.
way you can look at it without as much bias that's been instilled in you already. If you can look at somebody in a new light, is like, yeah, you're raised to look at a certain person this way, but if you see them represented differently on a television show, you're like, well, wait a minute, maybe my thoughts about this are different. And if you're clever enough, you can see the social commentary. And if you're not, it just kind of washes over you. You just think it's a pretty story.
Yeah, because we
But,
wouldn't want white people to feel bad about anything.
well, yeah. I mean, that's why certain episodes of The Twilight Zone didn't get aired in the Deep South,
Hmm.
or they had lots of complaints, is that they could see even through Rod Serling's rewriting of things to avoid a direct parallel to the hanging of Emmett Hill. Now I need to look up that Emmett. Shit, I should know this name. Till. I think it's Till.
Emmett Till.
Yeah, yeah, Emmett Till. So yeah, I mean that's the nature of sci-fi writing is, the speculative fiction thing. I mean, some of it's just pure escapist fun, but for some authors, it's a way to elaborate on current events.
And maybe sometime get through to somebody by using aliens as an avatar for humans, because
Right.
sometimes people do not accept such uh what is the word I'm looking for here? Such lessons, I suppose, when it's focused on the here and now. But if it's happening in the future to an alien,
Yeah.
you know, they can get in the doorway that way and maybe change some minds. So, but then there are, a lot of people who just will never do that, who
Well,
will
yeah. I mean,
never see
that's.
anything outside themselves.
I mean, how many people on death row are possibly innocent of the crimes they're blamed for?
Hmm.
And if we look at how, I mean, if you follow true crime podcasts, how often police will just blame somebody, arrest somebody for their crimes just because it's convenient and they need to close the docket.
Mm-hmm.
and that there's public disapproval for not moving forward with something. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the Memphis Three, the Paradise Lost documentary series, is that these are kids that are into heavy metal, and the police chief there didn't like them, and so found them as a scapegoat, even though at like a fast food joint, I think, or a convenience store nearby, someone came in all covered in blood and gone to the bathroom to clean up, not far from the crime scene.
Mm.
And that just got overlooked. And instead, it's like, and, one of the Memphis Three being mentally handicapped and just forced to confess. And even to the point where they're recording the confession and there's bits that they forgot to stop the tape in, and you can hear them coercing. And this isn't the first instance of that or the last of trying to
Mm.
force a confession on somebody who you just find convenient to blame for a crime.
Yeah, it's like we found the person. We don't care if they're actually guilty or innocent. We're gonna just tie this up. That's
Yeah, it just looks
get it
good
on the
on
books.
our docket that we solved this crime, even though we didn't actually catch the real murderer. And the other instances when they don't believe the victims.
Mm-hmm.
When a woman comes in saying she's been assaulted, just escaped a serial murderer, and they're like, nah, you're just on drugs and had a bad beef with your boyfriend or whatever. And why sex workers are often the victims of serial killers because the police look the other way and the public doesn't really care that much. So there's not this pull to investigate, this drive, this pressure to investigate. And it's what the missing white woman syndrome, I think they've called
Mm-hmm.
it, that people only seem to care about any kind of abduction or murder if the victim is a white woman.
Yep.
And otherwise, it gets no media play.
Oh God, why are we so fucking racist and sexist?
Yeah, well, I mean, considering what, for 400 years our country thrived off slavery,
Yeah.
and when it ended, they just moved the slaves into prisons, and we still have cheap labor that way.
Mm.
That's why we have such a high prison population. That if we just go into the 13th Amendment and, change it, remove that slavery only as punishment for crime, take that out of there.
Mm.
Get rid of for-profit prisons.
Yeah.
Nonviolent crimes, let them on just community service or something like that, or even house arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they in prison? For drug abuses, for
Well, see, that's the
nonviolent
thing.
crimes,
If you're on
thefts.
house arrest, they're not expending really very many
Yeah.
resources, are they? Because you're at your house.
Yeah.
You're having your food delivered, etc. You're paying for your, stuff instead of the prison. So why
Yeah.
not more house arrest?
Yeah. Because you're not there to do cheap labor for corporations,
Eh.
being paid pennies for what you
Mm.
would pay, tens of dollars. What's the other thing? I had something in my mind about that sort of thing, and it escaped me. Weird. Yeah. So house arrest. There's something else I was thinking about. Oh well.
Mm.
It's no
Uh,
longer in there.
sorry.
It's all right.
You've done that to me a million
I
times.
know.
So
Is yeah, something about the prison complex system thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Oh, I think we addressed most things. Well, there's the bit I guess we didn't address is that Aiko uh saves the chief guard
Mm-hmm.
when the prison break guys are going to kill him.
Yeah, Benkarans.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, I don't think they were all the Benkarans. I think it was just like three of them.
Yeah. So still, it's just pinning our perspective at the big cards on this one character who
Mm,
turned out to be manipulative and a potential killer. It just paints them broadly, too broadly.
yeah.
And I think there might have been an attempt with this other big card that we talked about of having his food stolen. Aiko stole his food, and he seems like a sympathetic character, but we only get that peripherally.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if he's innocent or guilty of his crimes. That doesn't get addressed. He's just in the background. So Yeah, we don't have much to go on. Our sample size is too small to draw a sufficient conclusion.
Yep. All right then. There's only
All
one
right.
thing
Oh,
left to do.
right. I need to bring up the thingy that I keep forgetting to bring up.
Yep. Gotta
I brought
bring
up
up the
the wrong
thingy.
thing. I need to
I gotta
click
bring up the
that
spreadsheet.
icon. I have to go into my favorites. All right. It's still 954. Or not
As
having.
of today, the next time that we are together, we will be at 9:55.
Oh, so we're adding one for the potential of Starfleet Academy. So
Not the
one out of
potential.
one,
It will
well, the
be.
potential that we'd actually talk about it
Okay,
if I roll 955, which I have a 1 in 955 chance of doing.
right.
So here we go. 84.
Wow,
We
that's
got
early
under
stuff.
100.
Oh man,
That might
still,
be next generation,
actually, it's
or
not.
no? Oh, are
It
we finally doing the original series?
no. Well, we're doing
Animated series.
TAS. TAS.
Animated series. Back to animated series. So at least we're going back to Kirk and crew.
Yeah, you said 84, right?
84, yes.
That is more tribbles, more troubles.
Oh my God. Okay. That'll be that's a nice palate cleanser after this episode, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Oh man, we haven't been back to TAS in a really long time.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, more troubles, bitches.
Yep.
So, which is it's fun. Um the animated series is yeah, it was for kids, but it still told interesting stories. So,
Well, it's seemed like most of the stories were written as if it was for the original series, or the voice
yeah.
actors are the same, and it's just animated. And
Hmm.
so I remember as a kid watching it, and yeah,
It was Star
it didn't
Trek.
seem dumbed down to kids that much. It just seemed
No.
like Star Trek, but animated.
Yeah, exactly. So cool. Cool, cool, cool. I was hoping maybe we would get TOS, but we were four too far in.
Oh, we were only 4 off.
I think so.
Well,
Wait, actually, let me look at it again. I could be wrong. No, it was yeah, because bleh, I'm scrolling the
bleh.
wrong way. TOS ends with 79.
Oh, so we're 5
So
off.
we were 5 off.
Wow.
Which is funny because the other TAS episode that we did was the Survivor, which is number 85, is one right after.
Oh, so we've
So
been close a couple of times.
yeah, but we got to get 79 or under in order to get some
All
TAS up in
right.
there.
Eventually.
Someday it'll happen. It'll have to happen. It's the
Yeah.
law of averages. We'll get it. We'll hit it at some point.
Well, we got under 100, and that's something.
Yep. Way to go. Excellent. So, I'm gonna just go ahead and say the stuff that I want to say because
All right.
next week, that's when Starfleet Academy premieres. That's on
You went Italian
Thursday.
there for a second.
That's a
That's a
week.
win.
So yeah, Starfleet Academy Thursday, season premiere, series premiere really, and Dan and I will be back doing the Unready Room on Saturdays. So you'll get double dose of brandy.
Right.
Sorry about that. And I we have seen most of the screeners. We have one we haven't seen yet, which I really would like to watch today at some point.
Okay,
if
maybe
we
we'll
can.
watch it for lunch.
Cool. That's good. And I really encourage everyone, no matter what you thought of the ad campaign, I really encourage you to watch this series. It is not what I expected, and that is a compliment.
The way they're doing it, I think there's something for everyone in this.
Yes, agree. It's not just watching kids go to school, okay?
Yeah.
And I was the one who was guilty of saying that. Why would I want to watch kids going to school? And the first episode proved me wrong. So,
And criticism that's leveled against a lot of Star Trek, I think this manages to escape, but we'll get to that when we get to that, I suppose.
yeah. So, yeah, we'll be adding episode 1 to the list next week. So, episode 1 of Starfleet Academy. But please, really do go watch Starfleet
Yeah.
Academy, please.
Yeah.
Please do it.
It's not what you think it is, I think.
No, it's
Well,
not.
it is and it isn't.
It isn't it, but it is, and that's the thing. It's like it's yes, it's kids going to school, but it's not just that.
Yeah.
There's
more
so
to it.
much more going on, and
Yep.
just yeah. So, Dave, you have anything you want to tell anybody?
Unwoman released her 10th album. I did bring up the name of it because it's a more complicated name than, it's not something that just comes to mind. If Your Rage Can't Be Beautiful. It is an amazing album. Unwoman herself says that it's her best so far, and I would agree. I was in the listening party for it. And yeah, if you like your cello-infused alternative rock with some really lovely vocals over it. And there's a bit of synth, some of it kind of retro, a little bit of 80s style synth in there, and a few tracks to add a little flavor, a little salt on the goulash. But yeah, it's very cool. And there's the lovely duet in there that I called the dark side of a Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers duet. Which is
Nice.
everybody in the chat was like, yeah, it kind of is.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a good album. So you should follow Unwoman anyway and pick up her covers albums in particular, because just her doing cello rock versions of popular hits, and some of them, that's the like she does Covenant's Lightbringer. She does a cover of, which is kind of a deep cut. Just take this future pop band to do a cello version of a song is like, wow. So
yeah, she's extremely talented, guys.
Unwoman,
Just
yeah,
really unique and amazing.
Yeah, and even in the chat, I was talking about how the cello is a versatile instrument. You can do a lot with it. You can you can pluck, you can strum, you can actually create percussive sounds on it, and just do a lot with that one instrument. And she manages to accomplish quite a lot.
Yes,
because she's a very accomplished cello player and singer. Playing around with DJ Studio, which is good because I paid some money for it and I use it every day. So
been making me a lot of mixes, and I appreciate it.
Did you get a chance to listen to the Kick-Ass Ladies mix yet?
It's fucking fantastic.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad. It was kind of like, should I include this one? Should I include that one?
No, it's amazing. I love it.
Oh, Tamara Bubble going into Lady Gaga is fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
I was just like, wait, what's happening here? Oh. No, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
A little bit of different genres. Not a lot of symphonic metal because I did a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's you don't need to put symphonic metal in there. That's not what this is for. Kick-Ass Ladies don't necessarily all reside in symphonic metal.
Yep, when you have a whole other playlist for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I do.
So yeah, that's about it for me. How about yourself?
I've already said the things.
Yep, look forward to Starfleet Academy. Look forward for the return of the Unready Room. What is it, Saturdays at about midday?
Noon Mountain Time.
Yep. So that's who knows what time, Greenwich.
You can figure it out. Your phone has time zone clocks.
Was that 11 o'clock in Los Angeles, 12 o'clock in New York? Or not 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock in New York?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I think.
It's always weird to me that we're in the future from LA.
It's weird.
Because I'm used to being behind New York, but we're ahead of Los Angeles. So, yeah.
Yeah, take that, LA.
Yeah, we're an hour ahead of you.
Anyway. All right, folks. Take care of yourselves and be good to each other.
Yeah, that too.
And live long and prosper. And we'll talk to you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Ska.